Hi there, Jason. How's it going?
Good.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, and we will see what we want to talk about today. So I am recording. At the moment, there's nobody here, and I don't know why. So we could record it and use it that way, or we could whatever you want to do.
How many people registered?
As far as I know, people registered. We've been promoting it. So maybe we should just quick record something and then we can send it out as a summary.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just make sure my otter is recording, seeing we have a little bit of time.
You'll have to trim this beginning. You know that, right?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for crying out loud. Yes, definitely gonna. Just want to get in. All right. I'm going to share the slides. Hi there, Jason. Thank you so much for talking with me about the topic that I love. Actually, I love all product management topics, but vision is a good one. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so before we get going, I just wanted to remind people who we are. We are all about helping companies design and build sustainably profitable software-enabled solutions. And I think in this day and age, growth and profit are important to every software company. Every solution in a portfolio has to be planning for this, and that's really what we're about, building tools and support and education around helping make that happen. And so for this particular topic, our product management minute, I think it's just an acknowledgement that product managers almost always have a very key seat at the table when working on sustainable profitability. And they also operate in an extremely complicated environment, collaborating with all kinds of stakeholders and customers in the market. So I think for this reason, we built the Profitable Software Academy, which is an education and experience that's really designed for a working professional who needs to learn all elements of product management over the course of their career, but acknowledging that they're doing it while doing their job, right? So that's what this is all about. And I'm happy that we're doing this kind of product management minute with people who've both designed and act as instructors in this Profitable Software Academy. So that's the preamble to talking about the vision. So are you ready, Jason?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's talk about the power of vision.
Sure.
I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks. So as Laura mentioned, when we think about our work at Applied Frameworks, we really are focused on software profit streams, which is a book we wrote. So some of these images are from the book because they actually lead to what product should I create and why. And this idea of the fog is a metaphor we came up with navigation, because I think there is a bit of finding your way along the journey. And the starting point is, well, where am I heading? What's the direction that I want to navigate to? So the North Star is a common metaphor. You may have heard of North Star metrics and identifying the North Star. We really want to be super specific about the solution vision. And if you have a portfolio of solutions, each one has its own vision, but this is really all about the navigation, because we can take so many different paths to get there, but still have the same vision. And this really does enable us to get a better vantage point, which is the right picture, this idea of getting above the fog to see further and farther out, to then be able to make more decisions. Go ahead to the next slide, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea of navigating, we've talked about some of these tools already. So in other webinars, we talked about the industry life cycle and the solution life cycle, and we're going to add more context for road mapping and printed product tree, a visual metaphor for imagining or visualizing the product growth over time. And we may even get into some of the specifics of the backlog in the future. So the North Star, we position at the bottom because the interesting thing here is that it's a guide for tactics, really just to keep this metaphor going, but it's equally strategic. So we could debate our perfect graphic. We may make some changes because we have been updating our book. We have been agile, so we're on 1.1 of the book. But the interesting thing about this North Star, not only does it help you figure out more about what the product could be and what it should be. So as you're going through discovery for product market fit, it also becomes really valuable as you're building the product to filter. And I make that point several times. And I like to right now the way this picture is designed, because one challenge I see a lot of product managers facing is too much demand. And the North Star almost becomes a filter before you accept the backlog item or accept a request or requirement, to ask yourself, is this actually aligned to my vision? Is this something that we should do that furthers our ability to achieve this aspirational, inspirational objective that we've identified? So that's really I think the positioning and almost the collection of tools that allow us to navigate, with the North Star being the one that's going to keep us focused on where we're going, in what direction and why.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because in a recent conversation I've had, there's a lot of, I think, deep expertise and skill in that execution part, where you're talking about, hey, in these 3 months, what am I building, and am I going to do it well? Can I produce quality software? But I think when we're working with people either early on, what am I supposed to be building? Am I even working on the right things? And then how do I know that they're the right things? I think this is what you're getting at, which is that having a really well understood and well articulated vision helps. Not just what are we doing in this sprint, but are we building the right thing, and are we adhering to what the market is needing and what we see as our purpose?
Right. Yeah. So if you go to the next slide, we can see, well, why do we need this? We really just want to summarize the value proposition of the solution, and that there are many different types of vision statements. And the one I like talking about first and foremost is the really short, memorable, sticky, aspirational, inspirational vision statement that is broad enough to give you flexibility, but unique enough that it is something that's valuable and worth pursuing. That allows you to really become a strategic solution for whoever your customer segments are that you're addressing. So there's that one difficult vision statement to write, the 15 words or less. And this is the trick. How can I make it inspiring, exciting, strategic, and different in one step? This is not something you just walk up to whiteboard and in 15 minutes it's done. This is something that I actually think takes a lot of time to think about. It takes the idea from the solution founder's brain, if we're talking about a new solution, or if you're inside a company and you're thinking about pursuing a new business. It takes a couple of days, over a couple of weeks, and time to edit and think through and talk about what is really going to be different about the solution. Who are these customers and why would they care? Because ultimately, when we tell them our vision story, we want to attract them. We want to get them excited. We want to inspire them. We want to demonstrate our aspirations for where we want to go. And then in turn, when we think about the internal stakeholders like the developers, we want to get them equally excited so we can provide them enough context to understand, well, where are we going? So I think starting with that short one is quite different than some of the other formats that we may have, which are more about the vision internally and the business case and more details. What are our projections? And how do we see this really being a valuable impact and generating sufficient solution ROI that makes it a wise choice to pursue this vision?
So yeah, before we move on, I had a question about revisiting the vision. I have talked with a couple of companies, again, kind of recently, where when they describe the evolution of their company, I could tell that, oh, it might have been intentional, but all of a sudden the solution that they were building for a particular market, very specific, the trucking industry, all of a sudden the need for the type of capabilities they had were being outside of the trucking industry, right? Other kinds of customers were starting to talk to them, and they realized that their vision statement was too narrow. Mm-hmm. And in fact, updating the vision ended up generating a whole cascade of changes, and even including a company name change. So what do you think about cadence of just reevaluating or reflecting on your current vision?
Well, I think that the sequence of events, or the unfolding and emergence of new information and insights, causes these changes. So I think the classic example is described in Lean Startup by Eric Ries. He actually talks about these pivots as the trigger events for changing vision. The story you just told to me is oh my goodness, we're going this way and we're pivoting and going another way because the data and the information that we've gathered that's emerged tells us we actually do need to change our vision. I don't think that there's a prescription for every quarter you should review your vision and treat it like a checklist. I think it's more like a feeling or an insight that asks us the question, is our vision still the same? And in a lot of cases, I don't think it changes that much. I think there might be editing, there might be tweaking, there might be expansions, and there are also really hard rights. And I really think the hard right or the hard left is quite significant. And I think that once the solution is in market, it doesn't really change a lot at all.
Right.
Yeah. So we love frameworks. We named the company Applied Frameworks. These are just a few of the options. In fact, one of our clients shared this amazing vision video. So when you have the budget or the creative team that can do something inexpensively, and you can even shoot these high quality videos on iPhones right now, tell the story with the video. I've seen cartoons. I've seen live actors describing the vision. It's almost like a storyboard brought to life with this vision video. And that can be recorded by anybody. So we can either think about it as, I'm thinking about this major super app type solution, and I'm a healthcare company, and I'm going to spend $20,000 on this amazing production that's going to be shared with 50,000 employees. Or we can think about, well, you know what? I'm going to share this really short 30-second video that I shot here in my office to share with my staff at 20. Either one will work, but I think the video just is so valuable for communicating so much so quickly because you get the visual nature of it plus the words. Similar to graphic novels or storyboards. Storyboards is fantastic for almost painting the picture and creating the cartoon of the journey. And I almost think about this as hero's journey storytelling. And there's so many great references to hero's journey, but that's really what we're looking for. Before the solution, here are the challenges. We then ran into this new amazing product or solution based on this vision, and how much happier are our heroes today as a result of the solution. And of course, product boxes are fantastic. And I think there's a yin and yang here at the last two. Product box, actually building the box, and I wish I had one right in arm's length. My son has one upstairs right now that they created several years ago when I dragged him along to a product camp. And you actually build the box as if the person was going to shop in the physical app store and pull it off the shelf and look at it. And some of us remember the CompUSA days where you actually walked into the store to buy your software and you'd get the CD-ROM or the stack of 50 3.5-inch discs, and you'd actually look at the box before you bought it and have to carry it to the register. And that's the same concept with product box. We want to bring it to life with words and pictures and color, and maybe we're going to cut up the box and have a little cutout where you can pull back and see inside. That will bring the vision life and just make it amazing. And finally, the press release, which is a tool that we actually have as a framework within the PSA, which we find amazing for people to do both verbally by talking through the press release, telling the story, or actually writing out the press release as if they're going to publish it to the PR newswire. And they're fantastic because when you think about the art of writing that amazing press release, there's a lot of things that are really powerful. It can have a very sharp headline, it grabs attention, there's a summary, but then we actually get into what's the problem we're trying to solve and what's the world like today. And the really great press releases I've seen in this context really describe the problem. And you're reading it, that problem statement in a paragraph, you feel like, wow, I've had that problem. I just want to keep reading to see what's more, and then getting into, well, how we're going to solve the problem with our solution. And the one key here, I think, if you've ever practiced with press releases, or if you're working on right now, as you're starting to describe the solution, the best press releases, here's the feature that we're going to provide, here's the benefit, and here's the impact. It's almost like every single problem or pain point you identified can be addressed by every single feature description you've got in the last part of the press release. So I love the format of our vision course in the PSA because we are able to actually work with our students who are actually trying to do this in real life, and they're actually to work with us and get feedback. And I've just seen so many great ones lately that really think is a great skill to have, whether through our PSA or just learning on your own. We've got so much material. If you want any of that, you can certainly follow up with us on that.
Yeah, I think
So
one of the
that's it.
reasons I really like that technique is it lets somebody let go of reality and time and just kind of like, hey, pretend it's real. Just pretend it happened. And as soon as you can make that shift, that mental shift, then I think that unlocks a lot of like creativity. Like you said, it's you're kind of unbound from reality for a minute, and that really is the purpose of vision.
Yep.
All right, so some tips, and I left number 3 open. Probably should have deleted it, but Jason, I was pretty sure you could come up with the number 3 on the fly. So number 1, I'll take that one. We have an excerpt from the book that starts to highlight some of this. And so if anyone wants a copy of the excerpt before they go and get the book off of Amazon, send me an email and I can send you the PDF. Another thing, this is one I added because I think it might have even been Luke who said this, but it's this whole idea of a reminder of alignment is just a point in time. And so saying the vision once may not be enough. It might be helpful to remind people on a regular fun basis that if your vision really is great and inspiring, it reminds people why we're all working so hard. It reminds your customers why they love you so much and that you're really focusing on something that matters to people. So it's not permanent. It's not necessarily true that you said your kind of vision statement once to everybody and they never need to hear it again. Like I think it's something that is fun to reinforce.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 tips. Jason,
If you refresh your screen, you might see a magic number 3.
really? All right, let's see.
Now present back to presentation mode. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, just visit our website, leverage the information, have fun, because it's supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, why are we doing it? If
Yep.
it doesn't solve a problem that we're passionate about, what's the point? So product managers get to do cool stuff to build cool products for amazing groups of people. That's what we're in this
That is
business.
super true. So yeah, that come to our website. We have a lot of little snippets like this that kind of all start to paint that whole picture. So at the end of the day, all of these product management minute topics will end up sort of reflecting the broader content that's in the book. So thank you so much for talking to us. If anyone's interested in the Profitable Software Academy, Jason, I know you said that there are some really great tools in this section of the Academy. There's awesome tools in every section. So if people want to talk a little bit more about that, you know how to reach me. I think we're done. So
Awesome.
thank you very much. And we'll see everyone the next time we get together. All right, I'm hanging up now.